Hey there, my name's Catrice Jackson and thanks so much for watching this video today. You know, back in about 2006, for the first time, I read one book cover to cover. Before then, I was kind of this browser where I would just dig through books and find out the information that I wanted and skip around and never really read a book cover to cover. And so in 2006, I clearly remember reading this one book called Creating Money. And immediately this book captivated me and I couldn't put it down. And yes, finally, for the first time, I finished reading a book cover to cover. And I was so enthralled by that book. I was so captivated and inspired and moved by the book that inside of me, this voice rose up and said, you know what? I want to do that. I want to write a book that somebody else will pick up from cover to cover and read it and not want to put it down. And also at about that time, I had a colleague of mine who we were doing some chatting back and forth about my new endeavor about becoming a life coach. And I have to laugh about it today because I shared some of my writings with her and she said, you know what, Catrice, I don't think you're quite ready. I don't think you're quite ready to be a life coach. This is who you need to be aspiring to become, just like them. And so she sent me this link and I went to the website and I looked it up and lo and behold, Martha Beck comes up. And absolutely wonderful woman, great message, great coach. And so I went back to my friend and I said, well, what do you mean you don't think that I'm ready to be a life coach? And she said, yeah, well, you know, here's some other links. Go check out these people. And she sent me these websites and I went and checked out these famous life coaches who are out there making great money and doing fabulous work in the world. And you know what? For 1 second, I stopped and said, maybe I'm not ready. But then I picked up that book again and I looked at it and I said, you know what? If Sanaya Roman can write a book like this called Creating Money, I can do it too. And it took me some while to get myself together to put myself in a position to write that book. But nevertheless, in 2009, I published my first book called Soul Eruption. And in 2010, I published my second book called Delicious. And in 2011, I published the next book called The Art of Fear-Free Living. You see, that one book inspired me to find my own writer within, my own genius within, and to really call forth the author that I knew was always there, no matter what my friends said to me. And just in 2013, I released my fourth book called Brand Like a Boss Lady. And this book was so important to me because all of my other books before had been kind of self-help, personal development books. But this is my first business book baby. And it took a little while to birth her. But you know what? She's here. I'm excited about her. She's changing lives. She's shaking up the whole brand marketing game. And guess what? I am working on book number 5 right now as we speak. So what is the story all about and what does it have to do with you? Maybe you've been inspired by a book. Maybe you know there's an author within you. And maybe you have a message that you want the world to hear. And also, maybe there's people who are telling you, you're not ready to write a book. I don't know if that's a good topic to write on. And maybe even the biggest critic of all, yourself, is telling you that you can't do it. Maybe the critic is saying, who's going to read it? I don't know how to write. I can't afford to write a book. I don't know what to write about. That inner critic is going to steal your message and never allow you to get it out into the world. So I'm here to tell you that you can write a book and that you do have a message that people want to hear. And people will buy that book, they will read it, and lives will be transformed. So I want you to get that inner critic out of the way and to know this one thing, that message you have inside of you right now that you know you have to get out into the world, it is not just for you. You cannot keep it to yourself. You have to get that message out into the world. And I want to make sure that you do it and you do it your way. I would love to help you brand you with a book, to make your mark in the marketplace, to have your first book in your hands, your second book in your hands, your third book in your hands. It doesn't matter which book it is, to get that book in your hands and hold it like this. This is a very powerful, empowering thing. And not only is it going to change your life and your business and help you be more successful, it's going to change the lives of people all over the world. So if you have an author within you, if you have a voice within you, if you have a message that you want to get out, I would love to help you brand you with a book in my 10-week message mentoring program. Now, this is for serious people, folks. You got to really want to be committed to the writing process. You have to be committed to the deadlines. You have to be creative. You have to say yes to pulling out all the excuses and getting that book done. And if you need accountability, if you need someone who's written a book before and knows how to get a book published and self-published and market it and use that book to help you build your brand, Catrice Jackson is your girl, and I would love to help you do that. So if you're serious about writing that book, getting your message out into the world, let's brand you with a book. Let's get your book out into the world, because I know that feeling, and I know that you want to have that feeling too. So here's how it works. Fill out the information below. Say, hey Catrice, I'm ready to brand myself with a book, and I'm ready to commit to 10 weeks of message mentoring and do the damn thing and get my magnificent message out into the world. It's that easy. So if you're serious about it, connect with me. We'll set up a time to talk to see if it's a good fit and how we can bring your book to life. I hope to see that contact information roll in so that we can brand you with a book and you can transform lives with your message.